Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me once again. You are always most welcome. Today, something I haven't seen before at all, from Suyata, who are Chinese manufacturer of model kits. Well, I say Chinese, they're Hong Kong, or as they said in the Man with the Golden Gun, Kowloon side! Because they're actually based in Kowloon, across the bay from Hong Kong. So here we go. Now this was actually, I think it was new tool in 2020. Now this kit has been sent very, very kindly indeed as a gift to the channel, basically, by Aubrey St. John. So Aubrey down in Australia, thank you very much indeed. He was very keen for me to see this, and I think you'd be impressed by it. So it's going to be quite an eye-opener, because it's not a manufacturer I've ever seen anything from before. And he said when you're finished you can either make it, keep it, stash it, put it in the Lost Ark, or let it go to one of the members. So if any of you take a shine to this, let me know. But we'll see how we go, because it might be precious, it might be mine. Yeah. But he was trying to find a distributor. They're quite hard to find in the UK actually. So they're not commonly available, this manufacturer's brand, and he actually found it from an eBay seller, and more on that in a moment. Anyway, it is their kit number 001, so it's 48 scale, and the thing that makes it unique is it's the Panther A, early war Panther, kind of Eastern Front I guess, but it's got the 16-ton Strabokran crane, yeah? So it's got a 16-ton maintenance crane that can take off the turret, basically, lift up, take the turret off, take the engines out, everything. And this was typical of a crane which is based, it has like a chassis design, which I think they transported on the road, or as it trailed it, I think, as a trailer. Quite interesting. Anyway, we'll see what they tell us about it. We'll get into that in a minute. So, thank you very much. Got zimmerit as well, and the full interior. Whee! 48 scale, wow, I can see why he's quite excited about this. Okay, so on the side, let me zoom you in, we have got sort of a simplified impression of what it would look like. It hasn't got too much paint detail on it, I have to say, but that's it. You've got your crane, you've got some oil drums, access ladders for the maintenance workers to get on top of it, and then you've got a full interior, complete tank. Full interior, engine detail, the lot, gearbox, transmission, you name it. And we've got, I was wrong about it being an early war tank, well it kind of is though, isn't it? So you've got the 1st Regiment of the Panzer, 3rd SS Battalion, which is in France 1944. You've got the 4th Company of the SS Panzer Regiment, Mont Ormel in Italy 1944, not to be confused with Mont Ormel in the Falaise Gap, which was in, of course, August, around mid-late August, when they got the massacre at the same place, the same name. Then you got the 3rd Company of the Grosser Deutschland, also France 44, so this is all Normandy. And then the Stab 1 1st Abteilung SS Panzer Regiment, also France 1944. So basically, all these three are Normandy and that one's Italy, basically, okay? So let's have a look. Without further ado, let's see what this is all about. So Aubrey was super enthusiastic about this, and he said, "You've got to see it. You've got to see it." It's completely passed me by, this manufacturer, which is easy, you know, when they're perhaps lower volume manufacturing. Let's see what we've got. Nice box. Now here we go. I mentioned it was sold on eBay. Now look at this. This is quite a nice message unexpectedly found inside. So this is from Chris and Charlotte, who were the eBay sellers, and they say on their post-it note, "Hi Pete, sold by me to a friend of the show, Aubrey, in Oz, on eBay. My wife and I always enjoy your shows and rants. I look forward to the review. Best wishes, Chris and Charlotte." Now how about that? Isn't that nice? I just feel that off. I'll keep that, put that on my notice board, I think. That's such a nice thing, and it's got this diorama base, so it's almost like a bit of maintenance in the field, 'cause it's basically like a lot of mud. Anyway, we'll come to that in a second. Let's zoom back and we'll see what's in the box. It's going to be quite a lot of detail on this one, I think. It's got a fair amount of parts. It's quite a big box. Now, I can't tell you what it retails. Actually, I don't know, and I didn't want to look because it's kind of rude. I'll let you look it up. I'm guessing it's about 35, 40 quid. Maybe a bit more. Something like that. That would be my guesstimate. But I could be miles out. This has got multicolours as well. It's got a bit of a Matchbox vibe about it, which is quite nice. Let's have a look then. Opening the bag first of all. Looks like everything's got photo etch and got cables and all sorts here. Right. Okay. Oh, yes, so by the way, I've got my rather racy Dart Girls shirt on today. I'm quite lucky my wife lets me wear garments like this because it's the Alexander Palace Dart Girls. It's a bit racy, isn't it, to be honest? I mean, this is the worst one of the lot. I've got voodoo sort of skulls on the other one, which is a bit scary and a bit questionable. And then on this one, oh, it gets worse. I've got some very scantily clad ladies. Anyway, perhaps I shouldn't have drawn attention to that. I might get demonetized. Right, so here we go. We've got, oh, this is amazing. So we've got some, don't forget it's 48 scale. So we've got all the usual photo etch grills for the top of the engine deck, which are very, very nice, as you can see. But then there's also chains in photo etch. My God, that's detailed, isn't it? And this is quite a small scale, remember. I mean, that's incredible. Wow, I wasn't expecting chains. So these are the lifting chains, obviously, for the actual, for the crane, for lifting the tank. I mean, look at that. Can we get it in a bit closer? Let's just go as close as we can. Let's see if we can get that a bit better focus. There we go. Now then, look at that. That's epic. I love it already. I wasn't expecting the lifting chains. Then we've got, oh yeah, okay, there's some, these are the various sort of threads, which one is actually cables. That's a towing cable, basically. That's that one. And then we've got some thread, which is for other cable use. Then we've got our markings, decals. Let's have a look. In fact, there's quite a few decals. We've got decals and we've got zimmerit. So we'll do the decals first. Here we go. And it's got some labelling for the actual crane itself, as you can see, where it says Fries and Stattenwerth. I presume that these are companies that perhaps built the crane. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, they look quite thin. Quite decent decals, I'd say. Not sure whether it's their own. Made in China, it says. Suyata. Interesting stuff. I'm not always Chinese kit's biggest fan, but this is looking quite impressive already. Here we have our zimmerit. Obviously this is the anti-mine coating that was very prevalent, certainly for the first couple of years of the war. It was only in sort of 1944 to 45 they started to just drop it, because mines weren't really an issue. People weren't sticking mines on. So they've done this almost like Tamiya. And it's basically like a 3D decal. I've got the Tamiya Tiger 1 and it's got something quite similar, although theirs was more of an adhesive. I think this is more of a decal. Pretty sure you apply it as a decal. As you can see, it's very nice. Yeah, it's definitely got the relief, you can feel it. And then of course you spray over the top of it. Apply this before you paint up the tank, of course. Naturally. Nice. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's quite interesting, that. And it's nice to have it within the kit. You know, I know I moan about this a lot, but I hate this thing about, oh, you got to buy this aftermarket and then you got to buy that aftermarket. I mean, with Tamiya it was their own product, but it was aftermarket. It wasn't included in the standard mid-production. That's quite an old kit, that kit I built. Mid-production Tamiya Tiger 1. Ancient, really. It certainly is quite old by today's standard. It must be 50 years old. And then we've got our guidebook. Now look at this, beautiful colours. This is going to be quite interesting. Let's take a closer look. And display base as well. Fantastic. Now then. Sadly, a typical Chinese fashion, the one thing I think we're not going to get is any kind of history, which kind of frustrates me because, as I've said before, I'll say it again, How hard can it be? How hard can it be to just have a little bit of history written? It's very like tack on the way they've styled this. But anyway, we won't dwell on that. We'll get cracking. I'll show you what's inside. So, sprue maps, and then shows the zimmerit here and how you're going to apply it, which is quite good. Nice clarity there. Interior painting guide. I like this. It's all in colour. It's beautiful. Now, of course, they give, again, the Chinese have got this obsession with ammo MiG for some reason I don't really understand. They all seem to be obsessed, as if they think Europeans are all using ammo MiG when we're not, but anyway. But at least it's got a visual representation of those colours, and that is a huge assistance to the modeller. Because at the end of the day, you know, you can probably take a stab. You can always do an equivalent, get an equivalence list, translation list. Or by at least seeing it, you can know what it should look like, and that's very important. And then look at this. It shows the lower deck, where the running gear is, all the torsion bars, and then the front area where the driver sits. See the engine at the back and the engine deck, and then the mid area where the commander and the gunner sit, and the loader. Wow. I mean, the visuals, no complaints here at all. Really good. Excellent. Nice and clear. I mean, I think they're 3D renders, but they're nice and clear, they're sharp, the colours are there. Incredibly helpful, you know? Incredibly helpful. Look at that. Back of your 75mm gun. And then we go. So you start off by attaching your torsion bars, which look like they're all in one. It's actually in one piece. Okay, we'll get into that when we get to the plastic, but that's quite impressive. Then you've got your gearbox. Okay, so they are giving us descriptions, so they get points for that as well. So far, it's just history that they're lacking, and they're using ammo MiG. Apart from that, they're off doing quite well here. Showing the gearbox components going together. Then we've got the actual attachment of the gearbox into the main lower hull. So it's a bathtub, you can see there, it's a bathtub style. Let's just zoom in a bit more. Bathtub style chassis. Drop in your gearbox there. I'm not sure it's helpful to have it shown as the same colour, but anyway. Then you've got your actual your sort of torsion bars and axles here. The actual road wheels. Road wheels themselves coming on here. And you've got your idler wheels and your sprocket drive wheels there as well. So obviously it drives from the back. It's effectively sorry, I'll just scratch that. It drives from the front, doesn't it? Obviously it's got the transmission at the front, and there's obviously a drive shaft up the centre. We'll get into that more in a second. So you're starting to building your engine, obviously, which where my thumb is the engine construction itself. So it's strange that they show the engine construction after they show it going in. It's like the Chinese read from right to left. Is that right? Didn't know that. I've seen that before, haven't I? Something I've commented on recently. Plenty of detail though, by the look of it. Looks like a nice engine. It's a Maybach engine, I think, in these, isn't it? If I'm not mistaken. Ah, okay, so the tracks are Lincoln length tracks. It's not rubber tracks. Lincoln length, which looks all very conventional and very clearly explained. Then we've got the intermediate bulkhead going in there. And then we've got, which looks like is that the cooling system or is that the lubrication system? Cooling system, I think. No, it's got to be the oil tank. Lubrication system going in. And then here's the missing drive shaft I was speaking of here. So that drives from the engine down to the gearbox at the front. Transfer shaft, I think they call it, or lay shaft, don't they? With a lot of universal joints on it. And then you've got like a complete section here where you've got all the ammunition, which is stored. Oh, looks a bit dangerous, this, doesn't it? Stored all around the commander and the gunner, but we're not talking. We are talking World War II. We just zoom back for this. Doesn't look like that's pretty safe, right? All this ammunition around you, 4 inches away from you. But of course, they were very heavily armoured, these, and they were a tank that had a lot of sloping armour as well. First tank the Germans had sloped armour, and it's quite thick. I'm trying to remember how thick it was. I think it was about 3 inches, if I remember correctly. Could be wrong. thereabouts, but I think it's supposed to be 3 inches, which equals 5 because of the sloping effect. But yeah, these were not quite so prone. They didn't have these anti-tank missiles that they have today, of course. Yeah, there was bazookas and similar things like that, but they weren't these sophisticated over-the-top missiles that you see in Ukraine, for example. So it's not as bad as it looks, and not as vulnerable as they might seem. There is a lot of ammunition here. I mean, you are just sitting on a field of ammo. Look at it. It's terrifying. So there's the first lot of ammo here going in. Oops, sorry, there. That's your first ammo store. And then you've got the second ammo store, which sits basically in the sort of sponsons at the side. All down both sides, a lot of ammunition going in. My lord. Ouch. A lot of shells there. You don't want them going off. It will create a very big bang. I mean, the only thing that would make that happen probably would be a big artillery piece like a 105, 150mm howitzer, or maybe a Sherman with a 76mm, you know, the 17-pounder. Or 17-pounder anti-tank gun on its own, of course. Doesn't have to be in a Sherman. Anyway, there you've got your engine deck, you've got your cooling fans going on at the back, which looks very nice, doesn't it? I like the way it's explaining it though. It's explaining what you're doing, attaching the exhaust pipes. It's all written in English. Yeah, that's something that others could learn from. I like that. Hull assembly explains that as well. And you've got your hull top fans and filters going on. You've got your toolboxes at the back. Exhausts obviously are coming out there. It have 4 exhausts, doesn't it? Is it 3 exhausts for the engine and 1 for the aircon system or something? Because it's strange, the layout, isn't it? It has 3 and 1. And then you've got your jack there, the jacking the tank up. And then you've got your various utensils and tool tubes at the side, which are going to go on, of course, complete with some spare track there as well. I've zoomed in a bit too much here. Yeah, there we go. Very good. I like the quality of these instructions. I think they're very good, actually. Then you've got your drivers and gunners hatch at the front, machine gunners hatch. You've got your tow cable coming on here. There's a hatchet. You've got your PE filter grills, mesh grills, and then you've got your tank engine deck, main engine hatch, access hatch, and then you've got another couple of those PE grills going on here for the cooling system. And you have a bit of an air conditioning unit, don't you? I think certainly a fan unit. More tools on the side, including a winch and sorry, it's not a winch, like a ratchet thing. Wire cutters, more cables, more tank tracks. And then you're going to build up, over here you're building up your internals for your machine gun. It's going to go pop through an MG34, I think I'm right in saying on these. I think it is. MG34 that pops through. And then on the outside you've got your little armour plating covers for the periscope viewing ports. You've got there your mud guards going on, and then bringing the top deck down on top of the hull. Side protection plates for the tracks, and then you've got your turret starting here, complete with the gunner's hatch, and getting ready for the cupola for the commander. And there is the commander's cupola, in fact, complete with all these viewing ports, stroke periscopes. And then you're going to start working on the rear wall of the turret here, complete with the access hatch, escape hatch, secondary MG34 machine gun on the top, and then we're working on basically the turret itself, internals now. So you've got turret ring here, and you've got all the sort of stabilisation equipment, and we've got the seat for the gunner. And is it the seat for the gunner, or is it sorry, it's the commander's seat, I beg your pardon. Commander's seat in the middle. I think it's the loader and the gunner that way around, loader that side, gun on this side. So there's 3 seats, but the commander gets a proper big seat, you know. And then we've got our 75mm gun going in here, complete with machine gun as well, going through the little sort of front of the mantlet. And then here it is. I wonder if it's plastic or metal. We'll see that in a minute. So that's the whole rotating, pivoting mantlet. And then you're going to start building here your breech for the 75mm cannon, going through the outer glasses, and then mounting that into the actual turret itself, and ultimately bringing the turret down on top of your top deck. And that's the tank built. Then we're into this enormous crane, so that's going to be quite interesting, which is one of the reasons it's got such a big instruction book. Gantry crane assembly, complete with this wonderful photo etched chain that they've got, which looks so scale-like. It's brilliant. Yes, pity it's not a working chain like my motorbike. I think that might have been at this scale perhaps impossible. Yeah, I don't think anybody's got eyes that good to build a chain at 48 scale that would work. Not a big one like that, no chance. Anyway, then you've got all the sort of pulleys and winches that are built into the winches here, but all the pulleys that are built into the crane to move it back and forth. You've got your jib here with your hook, and then you've got the overall crane, the sort of gantry assembly with the other set of chain on the other side, drive chain to drive the winches. And you've got your side assembly there, and you've got the basic sort of like an A-frame style of side mounting for the sort of superstructure. And then we've got what we got here. This is actually the lower part of the crane, which fixes to the bogie road wheels, the sort of mounting wheels, if you will, or enable you to make it mobile. And yeah, it's got its own kind of suspension and all sorts. It's got leaf springs by the look of it. And again, you've got, look at this, look at that. This again is this photo etch chain assembly. That's amazing. Absolutely incredible. Then you've got the road wheels themselves coming on here, and able to make the whole thing can be towed or whatever, and it makes it mobile. And then you bring all that together, complete with the stabilisers. Take the weight and obviously keep it level on the floor once it's in operation. That looks like an anti-roll bar there, isn't it? And yes, indeed, we have got, you can see it can be towed because it's got like a towing hook assembly. Limbers. And you've got that at both ends, and then finally you bring it all together like so to create this this enormous sort of gantry. Quite remarkable, isn't it, the design? Quite a feat of engineering. And then you've got these final members going on to complete your bogie assembly, if that's the right word. And there we have it, diorama assembly ready to go. So then you've got these this is here is part of the lifting body assembly that actually clamps onto the tank's turret, so that it actually clips on. You can see how there that it actually hooks onto the access hooks that are on top of the turret itself, and that's how it ends up fastening itself onto the tank. Bit of diorama. Then you've got this lovely base to play with oil cans, a ladder, what's that, some trunking, what's that tubing? I'm sure that is. And then ultimately you end up with this wonderful diorama on the base. And it looks like we've got figures as well. I didn't know we were going to get figures there, that's a bonus. And there we have it, and then you've just got your exterior painting to do. So we've got the France 1944 or the Großdeutschland division, different scheme altogether. And then we've got the one that's the Stababteilung, which again is more of the conventional like the first one. And then finally we've got the Italian one, Mont-Omel. And then you've got your paint guide for your crane. Absolutely amazing. Well, I've got to say, yes, apart from the complete absence of any history whatsoever about anything, but interesting they'd give a little bit of an explanation about the crane, wouldn't it? You know, just a couple of short paragraphs is all it takes. It doesn't have to be War and Peace. But apart from that, I am mighty impressed. The colours are good, the clarity was good. I think you explain things pretty well, from what I could tell anyway. You can't be quite sure until you build the thing, of course. Whoops, there you go. Let's stick on any adhesive. But that was very impressive to me. I think that's from a manufacturer I've never heard before. I think that was quite a good first attempt, certainly in my experience anyway, from them. So, let us see the real meat and potatoes and get into the plastic interesting stuff. What we got then? Let us have a looky. So we've got, oh, that's, wow. Well, I can tell already the engineering of this kit looks very, very good indeed. Look at this. They've got the bathtub hull already together with the top deck, and it clicks in together beautifully. It really does. See this? Look at that. It's a great fit straight away. No gaps, nothing. Beautiful. Tons and tons of detail moulded in. Yes, that's really nice. It's got sharp, crisp moulding. I mean, yeah, I can see why Aubrey is so enthusiastic about this kit, because the moulding quality is really rather nice. It's so finessed, and it's got this sort of like a silky sort of finish. It's like a semi-gloss almost. But the fit there is just sublime. It goes straight in perfectly. Almost Tamiya-like, you'd say. Have a look on the inside. You can see this is where we're going to have our running gears all going to fit in. And again, some amazing detail in the actual moulding quality. On the underside of the deck, top deck, they've gone to put all the rivets and every detail, including the periscopes, all moulded in for you already. Look at that. That is mighty. I like it. That's really cool. Wow. That's off to a great start. I'm starting to see why he's so keen on this. I think he may have chosen a winner here. If he can keep this up, it's going to get quite a high score, I suspect. But we shall see. At least there's no clear parts too. Well, there probably won't be many. Not going to cause a problem, I don't think. I get excited about kits sometimes, and then suddenly I'll get right to the end of the review, and then I'll open the clear part and I'll go, oh no. So we shouldn't have that today, of course. Being in armour kit. So here we've got our wheels, and we've got the Lincoln length tracks. And again, I've got to say, this is almost, in terms of the moulding quality, look at these, look at the detail here. This is reminding me of Ryefield. I was going to say Tamiya, but it's almost better than that. It's kind of Ryefield-like. Can you see the detail there? These tracks here. That's really impressive. The other side. That's really nice. I think that's a bit special, to be honest. Beautifully done. It is. It's like a Ryefield that's been scaled down to me, this. Some of you might groan, because I know that not everybody loves Ryefield, and they can be a bit overly fussy, overly parted, more complicated than they need to be. But you can see that's not true here, because they've got things like those periscopes in the upper hull that I just showed you. Well, you know, some manufacturers would make them all separate parts, and it would all be very over the top, you know, just to add another 30 parts for no reason. They haven't done that here, have they? That's really good. Very nice. Right, that's them two done. Alright, now then. This is where we've got several different colours, which I do like. It's got this Matchbox vibe about it. There's a lot of bags though. Let's go into the turret now. Oops. That's tell which way you open it. I do like the way that these manufacturers use these resealable bags. I wish everybody did that. Please take note, Airfix and Revell. Who's the other one that I did the week? There's quite a few that don't. Was it Border? Yeah, Border's the odd one out, isn't it? They don't use them, which is strange. Let's have a look at this then. And again, some really nice moulding here. Look at that. Okay. So we've got the can. It's not metal, but it's beautifully moulded. Look at that. Complete with the machine gun assembly. All moulded in at the side, look. Wow. Sorry, that's the sighting assembly. Machine gun is over here. Sorry, beg your pardon. That's the machine gun. And then you've got the machine gun for the front here. And all your parts for your cupola, for the commander's cupola. You've got your main mantlet here. And your rear wall with the escape hatch. And the hatches themselves are all here. That's gorgeous. There is nothing wrong with that, I can tell you. Absolutely stunning. Yeah, these guys are quite impressive. I noticed that they don't make a lot of stuff. There's only a limited number of kits. Quite a small manufacturer, but if they can build to this standard, they could be going places, you know. Just need to add a bit more info, don't they? Like most of the Chinese folks. Oh, now then, look at this. So here we've got all the shell tips, the noses of the shells, and the full shells and the oil drums, and they've done this beautifully. Look at this. Oh, yes. Now then, it looks like it's a scaled down version of the Tamiya drums, to be honest. But look at these shells. Oh. Yes. Oh, that's nice. And all these shell tips here, look. Wow. And then you've got a jerry can at the end here. And a ladder. Fantastic moulding. There's a real sharpness to those. You can see the rings that are within the actual, the tips of the shell itself. Yeah, they've done that well. No question. The only question is whether I can get this back in the bag without doing any damage, because it was a bit iffy on the way out. I think it might be worse on the way back in. Oh, that's going okay. That's because the bag isn't really big enough. They haven't made it quite enough girth, to be completely honest. A little bit mean with the bag size, I think. Yeah, well, anyway, there we go. Very nice. Right, now then, the torsion bars, the running gear, and the main ammo loading area. This is really nice kit. This is, got to be honest. I can see. I'm not just saying this because it's been given as a gift, basically, but this is, I can see where he's coming from, why he wanted me to see this. It is absolutely superb. Now, I think it was tooled in 2020, so I'm really knocked my socks off, really. Look at that, this area here where all the shells are going to sit. Look at that. Oh, that's nice. And then we've got, this is the running gear where all the torsion bars are, running along the floor, out to the drive wheels. And then we've got the back plate here. Yeah. Wow. That's a gorgeous sprue. And then here's that. This is the oil tank, the oil feed tank that goes on the top of the engine. Fantastic, isn't it? Look at that. Whew. It's quite something, gotta be honest. Well impressed with that. So, pop that back in. The big base, which has that very nice message on. And Chris and Charlotte, very many thanks to you. Thanks for your sentiments. Thanks for packing it so well. Beautifully packed. This was right up there with Jumblies or Tiger Hobbies. One of the best packed models I've had all year. Look at that, it just looks like a bar of chocolate. So tempting. Look at this. Isn't that nice though? Another good idea, you know, to create a diorama. Everything is in the box. You don't need to buy anything else. It's got all the tank track marks in it. Obviously you can do like they've done and bring that to life with some, you know, with some spilled oil and some sort of puddles, perhaps a bit of puddling here and there, 1 or 2 depressions, and some sanding effects. It really popped that way. And yeah, that's absolutely stunning. Was there a decal for the side? I don't think there was there? But that is a beautiful base. Really solid as well, you know, proper beefy. Look at, you can tell because it's all reinforced underneath. Look at that. That's a lovely base. I'm really impressed with that. Why don't more kits come with that? It's got me thinking now. When I said about the pricing, and I say, oh, I am just guessing. If somebody sends me something as a gift, I try to stay away from looking at prices if I don't know them already. And I am wondering whether it's perhaps a bit more expensive than I think it is, because that base is really chunky. It's quite a big chunk of plastic there. So it might be £50 worth or thereabouts, I don't know. I'll let you look it up. Now then, this is, so the grey parts, so that's the crane, so we'll do that last, yeah? That's the crane, this is still the tank, that's the crane, okay. Let's not mix the two things up, two kits in effect. Let's carry on with the tank. I feel like it's like a birthday, get a present like this. It's like Christmas or birthday all rolled into one actually. Because I've made some very positive noises about Ryfield model in the past. Not all positive, and their instructions are nothing to write home about, but it's almost like these guys have looked at what Ryfield are doing and thinking, perhaps we can do that as good if not better, but at a smaller scale, you know. That's the impression I'm getting. I tell you what, this is amazing. Look at the universal drive joints here, the transfer shafts. Wow, look at those joints. That's been so well done. Oops. So well done. That's amazing. And you've got all the details here for where the fans are on the top deck. You've got your transmission output shaft drive there. Here's the base of the turret. And then you've got lots and lots of small parts, some of which I don't even know what they actually are, to be honest. Wow. You've got a little seat here, that's the seat for the gunner, I think. Look at that, look at this here. The elevation, the teeth for the elevation for the actual breech of the gun. Can you make that out? The teeth, that's incredible. That's very finely moulded. That's really sharp, crisp moulding to get that at this scale, you know? Wow. That's just epic. And over here we've got all the ancillary components for the parts of the breech, sighting system, etc, etc. And they've done it so finely. There's like a generator there, like an alternator, I think. Wow, that's impressive. So that includes the parts for the gun breech itself. Knocked out by that universal joint now, that's really good. The drive joints, you know. Transfer shafts. Absolutely amazing. So, top or left of the tank, what have we got there? Look at this, more shells, more parts, and we've actually got the engine now. They've done this beautifully, look at this. Oh boy. Engine first. Look at that. Oh. Oh yeah. look at that. Like the clutch, isn't it now? Is that the clutch? Certainly the end of the actual main housing of the engine. And then some fine detail, look at this. Complete with all the lubrication unions and pipes. And you've got another couple of the 75mm shells. You've got the engine rocker covers here, or cam covers. And you put the oil in, jeez. This is gorgeous. I mean, it's 48 scale, remember? It's not big. A lot of detail crammed into quite a small kit here. Got some slide moulding going on here as well, look. Look at that. Gee. Oh, yes. I am very impressed with that. It's really nice. Turn it on the other side, you've got a little bit more detail. You've got the instruments here, look, for the driver. It's got your speed and revs of the engine, all that kind of stuff. Oil pressure and temperature, I guess it'll be as well. Look at that. What a gorgeous bit of moulding. It's right up there, isn't it, with some of the finest this is. Heading for a high score, very high. Very high. I think the problem is when you see these manufacturers, you know, and you think, well, I've never heard of them, and it takes somebody to see it, and then somebody else sees it, and then somebody will say to someone like myself, you need to really get this on the show, because that's the only way you're going to really become aware of it. That's what it takes, that's what it takes. And then this is the last sprue of the tank now, including the figure. So there is one figure. Sadly, I thought there might be a couple, but this is the guy who's obviously working on the tank. But look at this, you've got some absolutely exquisite moulding again. And you've even got the sort of nicely moulding on the exhausts there. Just turn it upside down a little bit. Look at those exhausts that are hollowed out. That's really nice. Like a little bit of maybe slide moulded, is it? I'm not sure, not obvious. And then you've got your protective trap links, protection plates down the side, mud guards at the front, driver and gunner's hatches. You've obviously got the grills there for the top of the engine. You know, there's no flash, is there? None to speak of. Wow. So I'm going to flip it back over and have a look at some of these tools and things. Look at that. You've got like winches and axe here, ladders. And then you've got your man. Look at this, the figure. Isn't that nice? Here's his face over here. Arms. He's armless. Turn round so you see the back. Oops. Really well done though, isn't it? Look at the pleating in his overalls. He's dressed in such a way it makes me think it's the Eastern Front, to be perfectly honest, because it looks like it might be cold. He's got like a winter camo style outfit on. Looks like that wouldn't be in June 1944 to me. And then over at this end you've got various parts. You've got the mounting locking ring for the turret, for the barrel, I mean, gun barrel. You've got your spade, shovel, your glasses there for your machine gun. And then you've got the actual machine gun is here. Wire cutters. And then you've got here is your jack. It's stunning, isn't it? Really nice, really nice. Absolutely brilliant. So that's your Panther. What a nice kit. Me likey. Definitely. Flawless. Flawless, as I can see. So unless you put something major on the camera that I didn't notice, it's going to get quite a high rating. So let's have a look at this weird gantry crane. So it starts off with the sort of scaffoldy bit. That's the right way to describe it. Bit that goes across the top. Yeah, and even that they've done nicely, you know. All looks like railway engineering, this, to be quite honest, doesn't it? A similar sort of thing, you know. Yeah. So obviously this you've got to be quite careful to follow the instructions, because I think it'd be easy to start gluing this the wrong way around if you're not careful. So just be very mindful that they've given you some good clear instructions for that. So that's the top bit, the basic support structure that goes across, the bridge if you like. So that's pretty good. Downside to these bags is sometimes they can be a bit tricky getting them back in. Then we have got the yeah, this is all the sort of meat and potatoes of the winching system, if you will. We've got two identical sprues here that are the same. So let's just look at one of them. Oh, and it's got the road wheels as well, in fact. So it's everything. Look at the gears. Oh, they've done this well. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. The winching gears, and look at how they've got all the cogs interconnecting here. Oh, that's really brilliant. See it? Those cogs look amazing. Huh. And then they go onto this this sort of back plate here. This is all part of the winch. And then they have these sort of drive bands on the front. And then we've got lots of tiny parts. I'm not even going to try and pretend I know what they all are, but this all part of this winching mechanism. And then ultimately you've got your road wheels and tyres there. That's very good. It's got some writing on it, and I want to know what it says, so if you'll bear with me a moment, I will see if I can figure it out. It's Dunlop. Good Lord, really? The traitors. What were they thinking of? Dunlop? You can't sell that to the Germans in the middle of World War II. That's odd. I didn't. That's a British manufacturer. I'm surprised. I suspect that this was pre-war stock they'd already got. It's got Dunlop marked on it. Ow! I was fully expecting that to say Continental, and I was not expecting Dunlop to be the name on the side. Jeez. It's nice though. And the fact that it's so easy to read, the fact that it says Dunlop at 48 scale, but they are quite a big tyre, of course, in real terms. So yeah, that was quite impressive. Yeah, I'll take you back by that. I wasn't expecting a British name on the tyres, to be honest. Anyway, perhaps they were getting them via Norway or something, who knows. Right, we'll go with this one next, I think. Penultimate sprue. What an amazing kit this has been. This has been, yeah, well worth seeing. Well worth seeing. It's another double sprue here, so we'll just look at one of them. And this is all the assembly for the bogies and the lower structure for the attachment of the crane scaffolding, the sort of mounting, if you will. Wow. Look at that. Gee. Yeah, so this is the sort of side plates. Ooh. Gosh. Very, very nice. Absolutely flawless, isn't it? There's just so much detail there, and you know, no flash and no short shots. I might tell you a story about short shots in the near future. I discovered a kit that I thought was perfect from last year. I spotted it was far from perfect, in fact, and I've had to go back again to the manufacturer and ask for some spares. So talk about that another day, I think. Anyway, last one. Final one, and it's a good one. Ooh, look at the detail of this. That's amazing. It's got the jib crane, the great big hook for the winch hoist. Just check this out. Oh my word, look at that. Huh? And here's the limber for towing it. So it would be folded down and towed like a sort of a trailer almost. But look at some of these details. Look at the gearing here. You've got the gears. Planetary gears. See that? It's amazing. Gee. There's your hook. Great big hook for lifting the tank up. Gee. It's just sublime, isn't it, really? Absolutely amazing. So look at it on this side. Here's your winch. You can see the actual the cable is, you know, the reels of cable around the winch. It's really detailed. There's so many little gears and, you know, little fine details, like over here, look. Again. Planetary gears. Fantastic. Well, that is just absolutely amazing. What a stunning, stunning kit. And it's just got that Ryefield vibe, as I mentioned earlier, to me. That's the thing, it's striking as a scaled down Ryefield, which is no mean feat, is it? So they've done a fine job with this. I'd like to see more from this manufacturer, I've got to be honest. Suyata, Kowloon, Hong Kong. I can't give it 10 out of 10 because the instructions haven't bothered to put any history. So I'm going to give it 9.75 because I think that is well worth it. Well worth it. Apart from that one thing that they've cut the corner on, it's perfect, frankly. What a fantastic, beautiful model. And it's when you see stuff like that that you realise that other manufacturers are ploughing out really bad quality consistently. Isn't forgivable, no names. But that's just perfection, isn't it? Engineering perfection in plastic. So it's a real eye-opener for me, opened my eyes. So it's 9.75 out of 10 for me, 10 out of 10 for Chris and Charlotte, 11 out of 10 for Aubrey for sending the kit at his expense. At least I suppose he was able to buy it on eBay. And he didn't have to pay the full shipping, because if he sent that from Australia, which was the other option, ooh, ouch, yeah, that would be a bit unpleasant. So it's actually a good way of doing it. At least he saves a bit on the shipping by kind of buying it local to me. So thank you to everybody. Some really nice sentiments there. Very, very kind from Aubrey, supporting the channel, and he was the very first member, by the way, to sign up. He was like a gunslinger. He was that fast on the draw. Couldn't believe it. He signed up. The minute I mentioned, how did I put it? Memberships are now open. It was like, bing! It's like he shot you dead before you reach for your gun, you know. Impressive stuff. But thank you to everybody, all the other members who've signed up as well. Really appreciate it. So if you haven't signed up for memberships yet, just ding the join. And if you don't want a kit, if you know, because I have said some of the kits we're going to have to charge people for the shipping. If that's not for you, that's absolutely fine. Just join as a $3.99 member. It means that you still get lots of these. I've done, I think, 3 shows. You won't have seen them all yet, but there's 3 shows been filmed which are members only. So the ones that you will enjoy, I'm sure. So you find them interesting. So for $3.99, it's less than the price of a cup of coffee. So honestly, if you're not fussed about the kits, then just sign up for the minimum. and you get all the benefits on YouTube, all the extra shows that you'd miss otherwise. Anyway, thank you to all my supporters, all the subscribers. Don't forget to give us a like, a thumbs up, very important, and ding the notification bell. Make sure you get told of any more reviews coming up. I think next reviews are going to be some new, very interesting and impressive stuff coming from ICM, which will be in the next 7-10 days, I think. So, stay tuned, watch this space, and I'll look forward to seeing you all very soon. In the meantime, stay well, stay safe, look after yourselves. Thanks for your time watching, and until next time, take care of yourselves, and bye for now.